It might just be for me.
Okay. So Morgan, what was your character planning on doing after going to the reunion? Like, what's your next step?
Yeah, we've just been on like a deep crusade to like against the resistance or with the resistance, and has been like stepping up the demon hunting. So that was his plan after the reunion.
Do you have a
to continue having that?
Do you have like a contact with the resistance?
No, but the tickler and he. Well, no, I would say yes. Because I think he's been involved in that for a while.
Cool. All right, Adora.
He and the tickler.
Adora, Zai, and
Anais.
Do any of you have anything for either hobby in the past 5 years or what you were planning on doing after the reunion?
I can go if nobody else.
I kind of go hand in hand. Like, hobby-wise right now, what Paprika and her friends have been into is competitively racing Roombas. You know, just like souping them up and then making robotic vacuums race, because that's a thing that children in space do.
Oh my god, that's delightful.
And I think it also kind of goes hand in hand with like what Paprika would have ended up naturally doing had everything gone right and we'd not been where we were now. Like, I think Paprika dreams of just being like a professional racer of any kind of thing, like once she's out there in the world and doing big things, because like her whole thing right now is just kind of running from place to place anywhere. Like, anyways, like she doesn't really feel at home. She feels very strange.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I feel like eventually she'd move on to like, I want to race frames, or I want to race spaceships, or, you know, whatever. But like right now it's the Roombas.
Now, I feel like Roombas in space would be really interesting because on a spaceship there's no gravity. And so you get just like, what does a vacuum cleaner look like when it's just free floating through the air? Okay. That's excellent. Zai or Adora?
I'll go. So over the past 5 years or so, Roy has taken up knitting.
Oh my god! Combined with the haikus, that is so good.
Yes. And then he just puts on his cardigan and ties it around. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, he's practiced knitting specifically for Paprika, because she has a habit of not taking account of temperature. And considering Roy is taking her along with him and going to often distant or remote places in the galaxy, which may be exceedingly cold, he doesn't want to have some sniffling, snotting organoid or organic along with him. So
organoid is very good.
Yeah, so he's trying to make her warm. It's been a weird, like, he started it for very like rational reasons, yeah. But it's like encouraged a nurturing feeling in him that he did not believe he was capable of having, least of all for organics. But yeah, so after this, and I don't think I am 100% sure Paprika does not know this, because Roy has kept it from her.
Does not know that he knits?
No, not the knitting part. What I'm about to say.
Okay.
Roy, she has things that Roy has knitted for her, so she knows about that. He is trying to find a place where she can be with other organics and be out of the danger that his life is frequently revolving around. But he doesn't want her to feel alone or abandoned. And because he always feels alone and abandoned himself, he figures she must feel the same way, even though she's with him. So he's trying to find a good place of organics that he can trust to. He's not trying to like ship her off or whatever, but she would totally see it that way, or would totally be perceived that way, like a boarding school type of thing.
Yeah, that's good.
So his next move after, if everything had gone well, would have been to go to one of the I want to use the phrase core worlds, but I don't feel like we've established that planets closer to the core are more civilized in this galaxy.
No, but
so,
one of the capital worlds, or one of the well-to-do worlds.
Yeah, so his next move would have been to go to one of the capital worlds, which wasn't extremely like diocesan or like extremely megacorp style. And yeah, basically look for a place there for her.
I like that. That's really good. Adora?
Yeah. Oddly enough, Reverend Byrne has probably been looking into actually learning languages, which with the technology around is probably a bit of a lost pursuit, given that, you just plug a universal translator type thing in your ear and you're pretty well covered.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because she is trying to search out words of power in different languages to see if there's any, commonalities or threads that she can find between them. But so has taken up learning actual languages and doing it not via, brain chip implant or anything like that. And then as far as what she had intended on, she really is finding a lot of freedom in not being at the convent, the abbey, because she is able to, preach to more than just the people who come there.
Right.
And so she's really just trying to find any excuse to, find a place for the girl to go, or anything that she can pass off as, charitable work that needs to be done before she is summoned back home.
I like that. Okay. So, that was all of us, correct? I think everybody went.
Yeah.
And we are recording. Okay. So, let's run through our pregame checklist real quick. Everybody is on the homepage, it looks like. Start recording. Check. Remember to go over your archetype triggers, and then pregame question, add strings, etc. as needed.
Hey, Brent.
Yes, Morgan.
Can you do me a favor and add my new email to Roll20? Just invite it.
Oh, interesting. Yes, I can.
Cool. It is.
Okay, yeah, I do need to send you an.
Sorry to do that.
Okay. Oh, hold on. I
Get my email.
I can just send you a link.
Okay, cool. That's even better.
I'll drop in general. If you click on that link, it should let you join as a player.
Cool. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay. Alright, so, real quick before we start playing, everyone should open up their character sheet. I'll drop all the characters in the middle here for easy access. Oh, they're all gonna look really silly. Oh, maybe they aren't. Yes, they are. Okay.
Where should we be going?
I'm just open up your character sheet. I'm dropping all of our characters in the sort of middle here, middle top region, so that people can alt double click if that's their preferred way to get to the character sheet. And then just go over your archetype triggers real fast so that if one of them comes up, you'll know it. Or if you see an opportunity to lean into one of them. So for me, my triggers are whenever you open up about one of your passions to somebody and accept the possibility of judgment, whenever you connect with somebody about one of their secret passions, or whenever you take time to be with yourself and celebrate your passions, alone or with a trusted friend. Let's have everybody go over theirs. Just we won't necessarily do this every game, but just so that we can get in the habit of like looking out for each other's. Aeneas, do you want to go over yours?
Yeah, I just looked at them. So my triggers are whenever I connect with somebody about my homeland, have an interaction that makes me feel like I belong there, or take time to mourn my family or home, are things that I should seek out and lean into, or, if they come up.
Yeah. In particular, I could see maybe that first one is something that you could probably squeeze into. There's a lot of flexibility to squeeze that into scenes. All right. Morgan, do you know? Oh, you're still probably getting in.
So can you? Is there any way you can control Ruta while I'm trying to get in?
Yeah. For now, Zai, why don't you go?
Roy's triggers are choosing the peaceful option despite the temptation to do otherwise, encountering hostility because of his past, and unleashing the beast and facing the consequences.
Yeah. Okay. And Reverend Byrne?
Inspire someone to be better, sermonize to an unfamiliar audience, and suffer a defeat or injury that will galvanize your followers.
Well, you totally did that last game.
I don't know.
I got the sermonize forward.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Okay. So, what you should do...
Yeah, we did that last time.
Okay, yeah, we did. We added interested potential converts on Gemini 3. Hell yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
We did things right.
We did it! So Ruta, are you still getting connected?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll read yours out. Ruta's 3, keeping in mind that Ruta's archetype is the defender. Ruta's 3 triggers are anytime he sacrifices his own goals and happiness for others, anytime he goes out of his way to take a hit or pay a price for somebody else, and every time he privately expresses vulnerability. Okay, so with that in mind, let's go over to Chapter 1, Lost Planet. Let's see.
But yeah, I wanted to say that my archetype name was the trigger. I'm sorry, my archetype name was the Bloodstained, and it's basically Roy's committed atrocities in the past and carries the scars through his body, his soul, and his reputation to prove it. While he may be trying to put his life of violence behind him, sometimes it isn't that easy. Roy still blames himself a lot for the perceived death of Evelyn, and I would think that people from season 1 may slightly blame him as well. Because, I mean, he was the last one to see her alive, and then he kind of sent that broadcast to everybody, so...
So
I think that's going to come into play.
Remind me what his... because I wouldn't think of him as being at all responsible for Evelyn's death. That was pretty explicitly Mendenshire.
Yeah, I mean, it was clearly Mendenshire, but Roy was someone who was previously manipulated by Mendenshire. He was a creation in a way of him. He had all these godlike powers while they were inside of that fifth dimensional cube. He was the last one to see Evelyn. It could be
Do you remember?
If somebody like Roy was with me and somebody died near him, I'd be like, what the fuck are your powers for? It's the same thing that the comedian says to Doc Manhattan about like when the comedian kills that woman in Vietnam. He's like, you could have turned the bullets into snowflakes. Yeah. You could have turned the gun into a puff of smoke.
Do you remember, did he like leave her behind assuming that she was following him?
Yes.
All right, that's very good. Okay.
So if anything, he didn't keep a good enough eye on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
There are
hence the knitting and overprotectiveness of Paprika.
I had a map prepared, and I don't know where it is. I'm trying to think of where I would have put it. I know where it is. I think I put it on physical media.
Let's get physical.
Let me check just one more time through here to make sure that I'm not missing anything obvious. I found it. Okay. Okay, so
that sounded maniacal.
It is roughly 3x4, I think. So let me check this. Okay, that's about what this is set to already. Go to the map layer. There's a new map everybody should be on currently. It is just a white sheet.
Entitled?
Yep. It should have a
title.
title.
Wait, underground.
Yeah.
White space.
White space. And there we go. Ooh, that came out a little bit too big. Ooh, that is almost perfect.
Pretty cool.
Almost perfectly sized. Gonna make it just like 2% smaller. Okay. Alright, so now everybody should be on this new map that I just put down. Everybody sees this?
Yeah.
Okay. Where did I have... Ugh, that's not what I want. Objects.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Come on. Yes. Awesome. Alright, and then where can I drop our characters in?
Okay, I'm back.
Okay. I am just setting up all of our sprites.
Where are we? Ah,
Okay.
I see where we are now. Ah!
So I am skipping one scene. I am going to skip past us finding a way down to where the Gemini 3 landed under the glass desert. We looked around. We used Emil's surveillance craft. We got we found a tunnel that looked like it was man-made or like sentient being made that led downward, and we followed the tunnel and it led us down here.
I would like to add that the reason why we found that was because Paprika was just wandering around playing with like those little pop rocks that you throw on the ground and they just like pop. And she did that enough times in an area that was slightly crumbled over. And after a couple, because her pop rocks make an actual blast, much bigger than real world pop rocks. They're like baby grenades, and she just plays with them like toys. It revealed the entrance, and that combined with Emil's surveillance drone or surveillance techniques.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that leaves us with one problem, which is that the path down here was not big enough to fit our frames into. So currently, all of our frames are still up on the surface. If we want to, you know what? We don't have a mill in this game anyway. Do you guys want to say that we left a mill to try to find a way to like part this glass desert enough to get all like we left a mill in charge of getting our stuff down here while we went forward as like a reconnaissance team?
We left them with all the people to, do technical stuff.
Okay.
Well, I was also going to say it makes sense because, like, when you mentioned that we had to leave our frames up there, it's like, it does make sense, but I was also like, are we not worried about the frames doing the same thing the Gemini did and sinking? But if Emil's with them, that's fine.
Well, and if they sank, I mean, that would kind of be ideal because then they would just end up down where you guys are.
We could also say that since we didn't know about this cavern, I mean, we as players can see this whole map, but we as characters cannot.
No, I think we did know about the cavern because of Reverend Byrne teleporting down.
Right. But we don't, I mean, do we know the layout of the full map, or are we still as characters, like, somewhat exploring this area?
No. We still have to explore the area. We knew that there was a cavern down here, but not the layout.
Word. So what I was going to say was, like, since we didn't know for sure that we could just let our frames just sit on the glass desert and sink down here, I think it makes sense that we would have moved them onto, like, rock outcroppings.
Mm-hmm. And then
like in that movie Tremors, when they moved up onto the rocks to escape the Tremor monster.
And then we leave Emil in charge of finding a way to get down here that will work and get everything down in one piece and all that stuff. Okay.
Yeah, that fits.
So the five of us, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The five of us have just gotten to the bottom of this long staircase and stepped out into a massive linear like hole. There's a cliff that goes down about let's say 50 feet or so. So it seems like this whole thing is maybe like 200 feet tall, 200 feet wide, and we're about a quarter of the way up it currently at the point that we came out. And this tube extends as far to the left or right as you can look. It extends out until the curvature of the planet makes it fall out of view. And And there is a building, some kind of, we don't know what's up with the building, but there's some kind of building situated right in the middle of this pipe, pretty close to where you come out of this tunnel. And attached to that building is a device that it's like a loop that extends all the way around this tube. And it has a weird glowing prismatic energy about it. All of that makes sense to everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. Last detail is that there is, just looking to your right, there is a cavern that that extends past, and a quick just look down that cavern reveals the Gemini 3 just kind of awkwardly crunched into this space where it very much does not fit.
So this edge is a cliff right here, right?
Yeah.
Word. Roy drops a rock off the edge to see how steep it is.
So I would say at the immediate ledge, it is, let's say, like 25 degrees, and then that slope decreases until it becomes flat. It's like a half pipe.
Oh, so it's not a steep cliff or anything?
It would be pretty steep. Okay. Picture a half pipe, and then picture you are standing about halfway up the half pipe. So like...
Right.
So like...
But how big is the half pipe is what I'm wondering.
50 feet.
Okay.
50 feet from where you're standing to the bottom.
Okay. So we can see down to the bottom pretty clearly.
Yes. And in fact, unless somebody thinks it's interesting to say otherwise, I think that there are lights going down this tunnel in either direction.
Word. Yeah, I was thinking that this cavern would be oddly illuminated with a lot of shimmers and rainbows and prisms from the crystal desert shards above, reflecting off of the light generated by whatever this thing is,
right,
and any other machinery that's down here. But okay, so
no, I like that. I like that more than saying that there are like ceiling lights. It's just kind of like the light from this device seems to fragment out in all directions and never seems to fade like you would expect, a light from a beacon or something to fade over a distance. Okay.
Do the crunches of our boots echo as we walk through?
Absolutely. You're inside of a 200-foot tall pipe. It's very echoey.
Cool.
Okay, so I think Eilish is going to say, maybe we should start by checking on the Gemini 3, and then is anybody else curious to check out that weird building over there?
We definitely should.
Yeah, Rude is gonna check it out.
Okay.
Any survivors in the Gemini take priority.
Yeah, absolutely.
Byrne, can you show us the way there since you teleported down here?
As best I can. I mean, teleporting is, taking the direct route as opposed to, say walking.
Well, it's pretty easy to find. You poke your head around this corner here, and it's like immediately in view. So it's not an issue of finding it. It is kind of an issue of figuring out how to get into it, because the way that we got off of it was through the hangar bay, which opens up in the tail end of the ship, which is currently like 100 feet up in the air. So I'm picturing the ship is kind of at like a 45-degree angle, with its nose pressed into the ground and its tail up in the air. So getting in might be complicated.
Are
Going
there
into
any
the
like
propulsion.
little like maintenance shafts or like little lesser known
Ooh,
entrances in the ship that like Paprika might be able to squeeze through?
So that's a good question. I would think that there would be, like, logically, I would think there would be maintenance shafts just so you can, like, get out and do maintenance on the hull without having to go out through the hangar every time. But I don't know that anybody here would know where they are. Now, somebody who has mechanical experience might be able to kind of take a guess and poke around and see if they can find something, just, you know, going off of their intuition based on similar designs, but I don't know.
Character cards should be opened by holding Alt and double-clicking your character, right?
Oh, it should, except some of these characters are not set up correctly.
I was looking at my stats and skills, and I was like, "Damn, all my shit's like down at 0 and 1s. My heart's at -1." I guess that's how we set it up. I just didn't remember that.
Yeah.
So I tried
so,
double clicking to see if maybe I misclicked somewhere, but nah.
Nope. All of the stats default to 0. So your 5 core stats, grit, heart, soul, grace, and wit, are always going to start at, you know, I think we said
Gotcha.
they had to add up to 5 or something like that. And then everything else, all of the skills, only show how much of an additional specialization you have in that skill. So right now it's either going to be 0 or 1 for everyone, and then as we play, you'll have the option to upgrade something to like a 2 or a 3 if you choose to really specialize at that. Okay.
I was going to see,
Can
does
I
somebody
take
run
a
an
guess?
investigate?
Yeah, I was wondering if I could take a guess because, like, I don't have any specializations in or additional specializations in mechanics, but I do have 3 wit.
Well, Eilish is an engineer, and we could go, you know, the two of us could go together.
Yeah.
The other thing I was thinking is, never mind. Okay. So maybe Eilish to look for an opening, Paprika to help me as like a spotter, and then Reverend Byrne to help us get to an opening if we find one, because if we find one, it'll probably be like 50 feet up in the air.
Oh, for sure.
Luminous now lost. Planted in soil, mockingbird. 3 more shots stunning. Roy looks at Paprika. Finding an opening does not mean creating one with tiny grenades.
But it worked so well the first time. I don't understand why you're so upset.
Ooh.
We don't know what's around the corner here. Tread carefully.
We have somebody
Well-
else who can help us navigate around the outside of this ship too. Morgan, Ruda has integrated terrain traversal gear, which has like grappling hooks and crampons and like stuff like that built into it. The way I was picturing it for anybody who has watched Attack on Titans, which I know is at least 2 of our other people on the call, I'm imagining Ruda's integrated terrain traversal gear as the what's it called? 3-dimensional maneuvering gear from Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ruda can also be helpful to us for looking around. So, okay. How about this? I think the way that we do this is... I think it's a couple rolls. I think me and then Paprika and then Ruda all need to roll. So, Paprika, can you do an action, or well, I'm going to take an action first, and then can you do a assist person action after that?
Sure.
So I'm going to do a, let's see, research maybe? Ooh, setup? I think it's setup. I'm going to do a setup move. It is going to be, let's see, wit hardware. Is there a piloting? No, there isn't. So wit mechanics. And I'm not using any particular gear. I don't think I have any reason that I would have an advantage here. I do not. Okay. How did I do? Okay, 10. So, a 7 through 9 is a mixed success. A 10 is a standard success. If we can get that up to an 11, it's a great success. So Eilish, or not Eilish, Paprika, can you roll a, I think it's called assist? No, it's metal. Can you roll a metal roll, and you would be using some kind of perception or something like that. Intuition, maybe? Or you could just roll, mechanics. I think it's either intuition or mechanics. Or investigate.
And I don't think I have any abilities that would assist this.
Nope.
Further.
I think this is no ability.
And no advantage, right?
Nope. Okay. So on an 8, you suffer the consequences that I would have suffered, so you take the consequences in my place. And we do advance the roll to the next tier. So we go from a great to a critical success. If applicable, the roller pays the consequences. So I'm not going to look up the specifics of a critical success. I'm just going to say with that, we absolutely managed to get on board and
hooray!
Using Ruda's maneuvering gear, we're able to get up there and get inside. So, what do we? So is our goal at this point just to check on everyone and make sure everyone is safe, and then let them know the situation?
Check for survivors. Point them towards the way out.
Okay.
Anybody else? Any thoughts?
No, that was basically my idea.
Okay. Yeah. So Eilish is on board with that. She'll start going room to room, checking for people, and then anytime she finds someone, she'll let them know the situation, and then.
Brent, I have a question for you.
Yes.
So in between all this activity and investigating and getting into the ship and talking to these people and pointing them toward the exit, I imagine there is a good amount of noise and talking and other stuff being generated by our group and the people that may have been inside. Do we hear any other sounds in the cavern? Is it silent in here? Is there anything else?
I want you to answer that, because you know the layout of this level as well as I do, and I could see us going either way with it.
I think there has been a slight echoing sound that we've heard this whole time that we've been in the cavern, and it was lower at first, which is probably why we didn't really think to comment on it or consider it at all. But the scratching and the echoes are getting louder.
Okay.
the more we're moving people. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. Okay.
Scratching.
So before we remove everyone from the ship, there's no reason we're not afraid of the ship exploding or anything. There's no reason we have to
No, I don't think it had any like catastrophic damage or anything to it
Right.
when it went down.
and if there are creatures, so this is Eilish speaking in response to Ruda pointing out this noise he heard, or not Ruda, Roy.
Roy.
In response to Roy pointing out this noise he heard, I say, like, if there is something out there, then maybe it's best that everybody stays in here while we find a way out.
No, I definitely agree with that. I don't like that noise.
Ruda?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Ruda wants to investigate the noise and but yeah.
Okay.
Roy says, I think it's best for them to evacuate, but I will acquiesce to the group.
What's your rationale on them evacuating? Because I was thinking, if we do evacuate them, there's that building over there, so we probably don't want them out in the open if there's something around, but we could get them to that building to take shelter. But what's your rationale for evacuating?
This is an unknown enclosed space, and that there's something else that is unknown that appears to be getting closer to us the more noise we generate. It stands to reason that we're going to encounter whatever this is fairly soon, and we can't protect all these people by ourselves. The only thing they could do is protect themselves. Can't do that if they're hiding in a room.
Okay, so you're thinking evacuate everyone, get to somewhere defendable, and make sure that everyone we evacuate is armed and ready to defend
I
themselves.
like that plan.
Can we discern which side of the cavern that the noise and the echo is coming from? Like, is it coming from where they'd have to go to get to the exit?
I'm gonna say
coming
no,
from
not
everywhere.
without a really good investigate roll, just because.
Echoes?
Yes.
The sound is bouncing all over the place.
Yes, it's.
Yeah.
We've got the echoing from that tunnel, and we also have the echoing from this cave system that we're inside of. So
I would say stuff like this looks interesting, and this looks interesting, and this looks interesting.
yeah. Okay, so let's get.
But yeah, I know. I'm trying to. The Zai, not Roy. Zai wants the group to decide. Like, actually think about this. What do we really think is the best course here?
No, I think that's really good, and I think it's good drama. But no, I really like the idea of let's have everyone get out of the ship and get to somewhere safe. But maybe before we have them leave the ship itself, we scout out a place that we're going to lead them to, so that we're not taking them out of the ship and then just having them sit out in the open while we look around. So we find a place.
Additional question that may help inform what we do. How far is it from the entrance to this cavern to where the ship is?
3-minute walk.
3-minute walk. Okay. So yeah, that is a length of time.
But not, also not like an hour. So
yeah, not super long, but if something is a 3-minute walk away, it's not like within just arm throwing distance.
right, that is long enough for something to happen.
Yeah.
What is going on the other side of the ship? Like, were we theoretically able to see what those were a little better while we were checking on people?
What do you mean?
Hold on. How do I?
I don't know if these are anything. They look interesting to me.
Yeah.
They looked interesting.
At first, I thought they were just rock formations, and now I'm like, they look like holes.
This looks interesting too.
Yeah. So
But yeah, they do look like holes.
when I made the map, I thought that they were just rock formations, and now I think they're holes, and now I think that's good drama. So
Oh no!
I think they're holes. No. I was thinking that as soon as Zai pointed them out. But yeah, absolutely. We know that it's something, but we don't know what. So
Did we also see the treasure?
I don't think it's treasure, but I do think that when the ship crashed into this area, it broke open a cavern, and there's some kind of man-made container or something in that cavern.
Yeah, I noticed that it looks noticeably brighter than the other areas of the cavern, so I feel like Paprika's drawn to it.
Okay.
Shiny thing.
All right. Well, let's. Unless anyone is opposed, I think maybe let's all explore for a bit. Everyone. We should probably all stick together in case there is something out there that we have to fight. But stick together and then kind of explore around a bit before we tell the people where to go. Everyone on board? Any dissenting thoughts? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm on board
Yeah,
with
no,
the
for sure.
exploration.
It would
Yeah.
probably be better to give them time to like get anything they wanted before they start evacuating.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to freehand. Ooh, gonna need bigger than that. Extra large. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I put down 5 numbers. Somebody pick a place that you want us to go to first. Or we can roll for it.
Let's roll for it.
As 3, but
So,
yeah, she's
so,
not really
okay.
being.
Oh, you numbered them.
She doesn't
I
have a
don't-
good argument to go there first, is what I was trying to convey.
Roy advocates for number 2.
Okay. I think the 2 is a good bet. Okay, so...
Ruda? Where were you? What number you think we should go to?
I was going to roll. I was going to say roll.
Okay.
Eilish seconds number 2. Those, Eilish did not think anything of them at first, but as soon as Roy said holes, Eilish got real nervous. So I think we should go check out those holes.
Yeah.
Okay, so, we
have to go through the ship then to get to there, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're already, like, on the ship currently.
Oh, okay.
So we can, maybe go to the hangar and take a length of, cable or something to use as a rope to slide down.
That makes sense.
So we can do that, and let's say that lets us out here. Roy, since you're the one who suggested it, do you want to roll and investigate?
Yes, I will. And once I remember how to do that. So
Click on your dude.
character, click the load abilities, or take an action. Which
Take
one?
an action. Well, you can click load abilities at any time. Theoretically,
Okay.
you should
I thought I had to
only
do that
have
at least once per game.
You do it any time you make a change to your character sheet, but
Oh, okay. Okay.
okay.
Take an action.
This is going to be a
Research.
navigate. I think this is navigate.
Okay. Navigate.
And the skill you want is investigate, which is under wit.
Yep. Which ability would I like to use? NA, right?
Yep.
Could use my side drones.
Oh, that's actually great. Do that. That would give you a way to do this at minimal risk to yourself.
Booyah.
Oh. Which reminds me.
Didn't roll.
Well, that's
right.
Token.
So Roy is currently tinkering with his drones and trying to figure out how to get them to survey this hole that's closest to us.
Let me make sure that... Okay, it is linked to your character sheet. Load
Try
abilities,
again.
take an action, navigate. Yeah. I'll go check the back end. In the meantime, you can just roll 2d6.
2d6?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to try one more time just to make sure I didn't mess anything up.
No,
Wait,
I checked it. I
investigate.
think you're good. Come on. Control click. Okay.
No. All right, roll 2d6. Got an 8.
Okay. And then
7 to 9 passes, so that passes.
what is that? That is a
Gain 2 forwards or a short opening.
and a battlefield event happens. So I think that battlefield event is one of two things. It's either we find something bad in one of these holes, and I think that could either be like a race of like insect thingies, or it could be like a toxic smoke or something that shoots out of it. And then the other option is whatever we have heard skittering around, gets the jump on us while we're investigating this.
I'm looking at the definitions of forwards and roll and openings now. Because I get those too, right?
Yeah. So a forward is like a it's something you can have an advantage on in the future, and then an opening is a thing for combat.
I think I won the opening. I mean, I know we're not in combat right now, but I want to have the drop on anything that gets the drop on us, basically.
I like that. Okay. Yeah.
So opening, and I think that we are going to learn what's skittering around.
Okay. And then choose one complication. You take some harm, you advance a clock, or you suffer morale. Oh, clock! That's what I was trying to do when I got distracted. I'm going to put down a new clock for whatever the thing is that we are hearing. Which
Nice.
I'm going to say is different than from, that thing. So this is mysterious creature, and then for a clock, it's let's see, from 7 to 9, the thing is guaranteed to happen unless you do something to stop it, and then At 10, it is too late to stop the thing, and you only have time to minimize the damage. So I'm gonna say this. Okay, so I'm gonna say our clock started at an 8, and did you want to take harm, advance that clock, the mysterious creature clock, or suffer morale?
I want to advance that clock, but I was also interested in the suffering harm one. Would that include having my multiphasic drone damaged and being rendered unusable for a period of time?
Yeah, that would be an example of that.
Well, I'm not going to have both bad things happen, so I just want to move up the clock and get the skittering here faster.
So that puts us at 9. At 10 o'clock, at
So
10 o'clock,
Roy-
I think it's like the thing has spotted us.
So Roy performs an analysis using his multiphasic drones of the closest hole to us and sends them down about 20 feet before the party starts to hear what seems like a scuffle between two rats happening in a distant location. And then the drone shoots up quickly out of the hole and like hides behind Roy as if it's scared. Roy looks at the rest of the group and says, I think we may have woken something up.
Okay. And I liked that when you said 2 rats, I think they're literally like giant rats that come out of here. No, actually, they're not giant rats.
Giant rat bugs.
Giant rats is a classic fantasy staple, but because we are in a like quantum improbability planet or whatever, I think they are giant white lab mice. Like,
Can they have like spider legs?
yeah, absolutely. They're
Thank you.
giant 7-foot tall white lab mice with spider legs coming out of the side.
I hate this.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
I'm gonna grab some sprites for these things. But
Battle with the replicators, Ghost Paul. Sorry, Stargate.
while I am grabbing some sprites for these little dudes, does anybody want to? Does anybody know how they're going to respond to these things?
Rita's definitely just charging right the fuck in.
Excellent.
I want to know, like, how did they get introduced? Did they like?
I think they come bursting out of that hole.
So it was just like Train to Busan style horde-esque bursting out of the hole.
Yeah.
Crawling over the edges towards us, mouths snarling and drooling, eyes gleaming red with that weird red mouse eye look.
Oh, okay, excellent. This is it. They are. We're gonna say that these are green spider legs instead of grass. And
Nice. Their hair is white, but it's like a translucent white, like milky white. So kind of see-through. It's off-putting is the point I'm trying to get across.
yeah, no, absolutely. This is excellent. Okay.
It looks more like moss than it does like fungus than it does fur.
Okay, so Ruda, you're going first. Were you able to get into Roll20?
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay, so click on Ruda, click load abilities, and then take an action. If you're just jumping in and attacking, that is a head-to-head action. And you want, I think your character's fighting style is street fighting, but let me confirm that. Yes. So you're probably going to want to use street fighting. Zai, I think it is most appropriate if whoever attacks first uses your opening.
Yes.
Okay.
I'd like to use the Gatling gun.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. It is still street fighting, but yeah. So use Gatling gun as your thing. I'm going to.
I don't think it worked.
Oh right,
Gemini.
because of the stupid. Hold on. There's a save script. Okay. Try it again, and this time can you do a spike move instead of a head-to-head? Everything else stays the same.
Yeah.
Spike is because you're taking advantage of an opening to get a critical.
No, still didn't work. It went to the cursor went into the text chat input.
Cannot read
I'm on
property
fire.
includes of undefined. Is it gonna say what the thing that it's trying to do is? Oh, that's sad. Whatever. I'll debug the macro later. Okay, so you got. Ooh, that is a 4.
Oh no.
Does Ruda have a string with anybody in the party that maybe he could use to
Let me
defend
look
us?
at my. Wait, doesn't he have that opening?
So the opening doesn't give you advantage; it allows you to do a critical hit.
Where would strings be under?
It's under resources. So Ruda does
Okay.
not have any strings or forwards currently.
Yeah, I've got one with paprika.
Well, what we can do then is if somebody does an assist action, they can get that up a little higher. So
What is Ruda doing?
Ruda
I think it
is,
makes sense for Roy to give an assist action since he's closest in with investigating.
Okay, excellent. Roy, why don't you roll 2d6, and then I'm going to click. These are spike roll values, and
Oh, that was right on the
these
edge.
are metal roll values. Okay, so Zai rolled a 7. So on a metal with a 7, you suffer the consequences that the original roller would have suffered. Advance the roll to the next tier. If applicable, the roller pays the roller suffers the consequences of the new roll result.
Okay. So then the consequence.
So I put that wrong. That last sentence there is badly written. It implies that the roller has to pay the result. You, the person who is meddling, you pay the consequences of the new roll result. So the new roll result is a pass, which means you break an enemy's tag. You essentially do like 1 health bar worth of damage, which is enough to just kill one of these mook enemies outright. And in exchange, you receive an enemy's critical move, and then suffer 1 complication. We advance a clock, a battlefield event happens, the enemy move is more powerful, or you suffer morale.
Ruda, what exactly were you doing? Were you just like charging in there, swinging a sword, or
Gatling
what?
gun.
Oh, Gatling gun. So that drone that was hiding behind Roy just threw that as hard as he could at the thing that your Gatling gun missed and killed it. But that's when the drone actually becomes damaged and is useless since I didn't get 2 consequences before. So that drone is now incapacitated. I can't use it until I repair it.
Okay, so with a critical move, enemy deals D6 plus tier damage, and the key thing to a critical move is that it temporarily breaks one of the character's tags or abilities. So, this is very convenient. Your tag, your ability, drone, now has the staggered status, which means you will be able to repair it after the fight. It's not like permanently broken, but it's unusable for the rest of the encounter.
Got it. Do I need to add that tag?
Yeah, so it's not a tag. You go find that ability, and next to the ability there should be like a health meter. There's like 3 bullet thingies. You just click the staggered bullet.
Oh, okay, I see it. Okay.
Okay,
got it.
So these are, let's see.
So did I get like an enemy ability or something?
You get hit.
Oh, okay.
So, the enemy, I think these are tier 2 enemies, which is like medium, low medium difficulty. So you're going to take D6 plus 2 damage, with 2 bonus effects. Oh, by the way, what did you choose for your complication? Advance a clock, a battlefield event happens.
The clock got advanced.
Okay, excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, for the searching, the investigating the holes.
So this complication that you're choosing is for the combat.
Oh, okay.
So you can advance that clock again. I think that would be very appropriate.
Yep, advance the clock again.
Okay, excellent. So, I am looking at this list of bonus effects.
Do we have a visual of that clock somewhere?
Yeah, it's at the top of the map. Up in the tunnel thingy. So...
I see it. Okay.
Damage over time, dazed, fatigued, slowed, brain fog. Does Roy have any digital equipment he relies on other than his drone?
Let me double check. I think he might. That would be under resources, right?
Mm-hmm. Or it would be under abilities, which is...
Yeah. So his suit. Well, he has a multi-phasic submachine gun. I think that's largely a mechanical, technical thing.
Let's say
digital.
That,
and the jumpsuit, the electromagnetic jumpsuit.
Mm-hmm. So I think that okay, here's the two bonus effects on the enemy move that I'm calling for. I think the 2 bonus effects are digital interference, specifically all of your multiphasic things have disadvantage because of the drone being damaged. It messed with the multiphasic setup on all the rest of your equipment.
All right. Should I tag that one to stagger too?
No, we're just gonna take a note of it. You have disadvantage on anything multiphasic for the rest of the encounter.
Got it.
And then I think the other one is dazed, which is disadvantage on all actions that require aim, finesse, or precision for the next turn. And my justification for dazed is that you're so, like...
I was just going to say, when I threw the multiphasic drone and hit that thing, there was a burst of light from the multiphasic drone, like, as it kind of was
and
damaged.
Because you were the one who was throwing it, you were, like, looking right at the pot.
It was like a mini flashbang right in Roy's face.
Okay. So Roy has, Roy equals dazed digital interference. Okay. Can you add that under health and status? Trauma and miscellaneous injuries. Can you write that down in there? We're gonna get rid of it at the end of the encounter, but just so that I don't, we don't forget about it.
Oh, what should I call it again? Dazed?
Dazed and digital interference. Okay, so so that was Ruda and Roy. Paprika or Reverend Byrne, do either one of you want to go next?
Is it cool if I call it multiphasic interference?
Yeah.
So that we know if it should affect those? Okay.
Yep. Paprika? Otherwise,
Flashbang just went off. Flashbang just went off in Roy's face, Paprika. What do you do?
Oh, Paprika's laughing hysterically because you self-flashbanged.
Yeah, that's what I expected. But it's your turn in combat too if you want to go.
I need to go over my abilities.
Where is Eilish at actually? I don't.
I'm right next.
Oh, you're right there. Okay.
Yep. So while you're doing that, I'm gonna go and just shoot at some of them. Nothing complicated. Just a head-to-head, and then
Eilish pulls out the toolie.
Dueling and defensive ward diocese dueling with guns. No advantage. That's right. Oh my god! We've been forgetting to add abilities because normally the thing adds them for us. Okay, my grace is 1 and my dueling is 1, so that is a 7.
Cool.
And then head to head. Okay, so on a 7, you attack an enemy, you receive an enemy move, you choose a complication. Let me look up my gun's harm, resources, abilities. Okay. So that is okay. And I think I choose 1 complication. Disadvantage 1 on my attack, or enemy move tier +1, or suffer more health. I think enemy move tier +1. So here's my attack. 7 damage, and do I have anything where I wrote down how much the default health on an enemy is?
I thought these were like really low health, like 1 health, since that throwing the drone killed it. That one that was by Ruda.
So throwing the drone distracted it, and Ruda's machine gun fire. Ruda would have missed. It would have dodged out of the way, but throwing the drone stunned it and held it still while Ruda Gatling gunned it.
Cool.
So, how much is the default player health? I think it's 10. Health and status.
Mm-hmm. We had 20 to split between that and mental.
So we're gonna say the enemies have 10 health per thingy. So the enemies are now at 3 out of 10 health. And the way this works is that is the health for the enemy collective, and then every time that falls below 0, they lose one of their people. So I did 70% of one rabbit damage. Okay, and now I suffer an enemy move. Receive an enemy move. And we said these guys are tier 2, but I took +1, so that made it tier 3. And they are tier 2, which means whatever their thing is lingering. Okay, I think the lingering bonus effect is going to be medium damage over time. Medium means it is 5. So 5 DOT until cured. Poison 5. Okay. And I took 7 points of damage. That is a lot of damage on Eilish.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, right. But I get to subtract it from my protection before I subtract it from my health. So that cut through the majority of my defensive ward, but it hasn't hurt my health yet. But that damage over time is going to very quickly.
Wait, why is there damage over time?
So every time you get an enemy move, you choose one complication, one like extra effect for the move, and the extra effect I chose was damage over time. The extra effect you got was daze and like disabled.
So I was gonna up the ante a little bit, and since you did the damage over time, I was wondering if you would want to roleplay like, let's say you shot one of the things and some of its blood splashed back on you, and when it did, you noticed a little bit of sizzling. The party looked back over to where the raboid that Ruta ended up Gatling gunning to death, and see that there is a tiny indentation in the ground as though it had melted into the ground.
Gross. Yeah, no, that's really good. I'm gonna do mostly say that, but it is a bite. It got a bite on me before I managed to shoot it.
So these things have corrosive saliva and
as well as corrosive blood. Yes.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Okay. So I'm in a bad state, but not the worst. Burn or Paprika? Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
Okay. Are you fighting? Doing a setup? What?
Probably head to head. I'd try to use the divine voice, which says psychically influence animals and weak-willed people. I would basically yell at one of them, depart, and see if that works to get them to go away.
So that's not going to be a head to head. That's going to be a negotiate. And let's see. What is your what stat are you using for that? That's going to be divinity, probably. So
probably. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's going to be a +3 total bonus. So 2d6 +3. That is a 9, a standard success.
Nice.
And then negotiate. Okay. Normally you are not able to negotiate with wild creatures. You can do it because you have that thing.
Nice.
And what are those? Oh no! Stop that. My computer just tried to open Microsoft Teams. And then PowerPoint. I don't want either of these.
Two shitty programs. I want to make it clear to the players that, like, while these are represented on the map now by one thing, these are like clusters of several of them.
Yes.
Like, there's a big nasty horde that's kind of surrounding us. We're just shooting in general directions.
Yeah. Okay. So on a 7 to 9, they will comply, but you have to pay a price and choose a complication. Advance a clock, lose a string, decrease their attitude, or suffer morale.
I don't think attitude really is going to be applicable, so I think I'll go with suffer morale.
Attitude would be applicable in this case as they get more angry. So you would persuade some of them to leave, and the ones who don't leave would be even more angry.
I'll just do suffer morale.
Okay. So that is 1d6 / roll d6. Can you subtract 3 from your resolve?
Yep, done.
And then subject complies, but you must pay a price. Okay, so you have to pay a price. This is, if you have an asset, you can lose the asset to like pay a price. Otherwise, you have to you have to give something up. Now, because we're very early in the campaign, we don't have a lot of assets for people to lose. Maybe at the end of this game, I'll give each of us just like one generic asset, just so that we have something for this. But for now, we need to pay a price. I would be happy to pay that price in your place if you want. I have an asset that I got for something or other last game.
If you think it's relevant.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's most appropriate. So if you want to accept it from me, I have a fancy military beret that I found last game, which I could give up, and that would be the, like, you know, a price has been paid. Otherwise, you would suffer a wound as if you had lost a whole health bar, or lose 1 experience, or perform a service or make a significant narrative sacrifice. I don't think there's any service they want from you, so you would either like suffer a wound, like a broken arm or something, or lose an experience point. I think it's better to just let me.
Yeah, we had to give the little bunnies a beret to be happy to walk away.
I'll sit over to them like food, like here, eat this.
Yeah, no, I love the idea of, like, in the middle of this fight, I'm shooting things, I've got my arm dissolving, you're talking to these rabbits, and some of them are listening to you, and some of them aren't, and you just turn around and say, like, he'll leave, but only if we give him something, and I'm like, here, take this!
Narrative point. This is an interesting time, and I think the party takes notice that the Raboids actually appreciate the military beret. They stop their scuttling for a second and gather around it and sniff at it. One of them picks it up in its mouth, and then they all shift away as if they are looking for something that's attached to that hat.
Ooh, that's very good. So I think we can go one of 2 directions. Either we could have that be the resolution to this fight, and then explore that idea further, or we could say that some of the rabbits are affected by that and take it and leave, but there's still some rabbits left for us to fight. Which do we want to explore further? Continue this fight, or have a scene with the rabbits and the beret?
I think that they should take the military beret and leave. I don't think that it should necessarily be the last time that we see these things.
Okay, excellent.
Also, I will submit. Let's call them rabids. Rabids.
Okay. Doesn't matter. Okay. And the scene is over, but I'm definitely going to lose a little bit of health before I can get my thing resolved. Is anybody in this party good at medicine?
Definitely not Ruda.
Definitely not Roy either.
Yeah, no.
We did it again.
I'm probably
Bird?
the closest.
Yeah.
+2 on it.
You have some like
Effectively.
biomedical stuff, don't you?
Yeah. The resource. Let's see. The ability that I have that is closest to that is biochemical enhancement buffing. I can sort of basically give you adrenaline to get past it, or something like that, or some sort of.
So since it's biochemical, I'm gonna say like you could probably just like you probably just know how to cancel out an acid or something like that. Can you do a So can I have you roll a recovery for me? Ask you to patch me up?
Sure.
Okay. So, what is your... Alright. So that is a 6. Well, let's see what happens. Okay, so you gain an experience point, and we advance a clock, lose a string, suffer morale, or pay a price. Which complication do you want? It has to be you who chooses, because...
I will suffer morale again.
Okay.
Disappointed myself.
Okay. Yep. And because that then failed to...
Gotta try again, don't I?
You have to try again, and also that means I'm going to take 1 tick of damage over time. So that is going to put me... I'm going to go from 4 out of 7 health, down to 6 out of 7 health, and suffer a wound in the process. I'm going to say that my... I think that my arms are injured. Yeah, I think that my arms are going to be out of commission for the immediate future.
Man.
or specifically like my right arm. But yeah, so that happened to me. Okay, I'm
really sorry. I have now. What happens when I run out of morale or resolve?
So that means you are going to suffer a wound, suffer a trauma. Okay, so at the bottom of this page is a list of traumas and disorders. You are going to have to choose one of these traumas. So while you're doing that, I'm gonna take another 5 points of damage, and I'm gonna ask if somebody could assist Reverend Byrne with the next one.
Rita can try to assist.
I don't know how
successful
I think
that's going to
Eilish
be.
would be more comfortable if somebody other than Ruta assisted. Roy?
I can try.
Paprika, I like Paprika. I trust Paprika. She's a smart cookie. She can, like, hold medical tools and stuff like that. Byrne, have you chosen which trauma or disorder you're going to take?
It's between fear of medicine and fear of blood.
I think pharmacophobia is pretty good. Yeah, I think fear of medicine as a response to this is really good. And I think that is in the form of, like, I'm just sitting there like, hey, no, it's fine, just keep trying. And meanwhile, you're, like, trying to stitch my arm together, and there's blood going everywhere. Okay.
So, do I roll first, or does the person assisting roll first?
I think let's have the person assistant roll first. Did you add pharmacophobia to your character sheet?
I am doing it now.
Okay. So Paprika, let's see what skill makes sense for you to use to, this is probably either wit or heart.
It's a metal rolled, right?
Yeah. I think this is heart because it would either be medicine or, like, comfort. And either way, it's going to be just a +1. So 2d6 +1. Eight. Okay, 8. 8 is great. 8 means that you get wrapped up in the consequences, but we do advance it to the next tier.
Which is going to be...
Yep.
Amazing.
The meaty discount unethically belied the zealous childhood.
So, we refill your health and choose a bonus. Instead of refilling health or resolve, we can repair a wound breaker trauma.
So this is going to be a critical. Yeah, refill a target's health/resolve and choose a bonus.
So I could have your arms fixed, but you'd still be at 1 health.
Well, it says refill target's health and choose a bonus.
Right, and then the bonus is instead.
Right. It says
filling.
Instead of. Nah, just refill my health. That'll do.
Okay, well, I still get a bonus for something else.
Pick a string. I think it is reasonable to say. Let me look at. So on 7 to 9, choose. Oh, Aeneas, you need to choose a complication. Advance a clock, lose a string, decrease somebody's attitude towards you, or suffer morale.
And I can do decreased attitude, like, amongst other party members.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, I could be annoyed that you stepped in to help when obviously I just had it fine myself right here at the end.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair, especially because I was like, what is Paprika even doing to help? And I went for comfort on the roll, and then Yeah, I went for comfort on the roll, and I'm just thinking about like trying to deal with this like acidic burn on somebody's arm, and I'm just sitting there the whole time like, Eilish, it's important to remember that you breathe. Just giving her advice that isn't helping and making everything worse.
So
Just
here,
throw
I
glitter on
don't
the
think it's
wound.
decrease attitude. I think it's suffer morale.
Fair.
Based on what you just described. So we roll 1d6.
I mean, that wouldn't be her feeling bad about herself, though. That would be Bird being like, what the hell, man?
But I think that for Roy, it wouldn't be him feeling bad about himself. For Paprika, I do think it would be. I think that Paprika would kind of internalize what other people think about her.
Bren, do you also have any resolve damage, or is it just a health?
That's a good question. Health and status. Nope, my resolve is at full.
Okay. So yeah, either a string, or I suppose I could have the complication on the help roll ignored. Would that be possible?
I think that would be possible, but I think that it would be really fitting for the three of us to get a string with each other. Maybe. Yeah. So I would get a string with Paprika and Burn, and then each of you guys would get a string with me and the other. That's more than is typically intended with that effect, but considering how harrowing this event has been, I think it's appropriate. You guys on board with that?
I mean, it could be just the two of us, considering I seem to be initially taking it towards the negative with someone else stepping in.
That's fair. Okay, so I will add Burn and Reverend Burn, and I'm going to describe our relationship as
It's
medicinal savior. And I guess we will be starting at the baseline, which is not the furthest left box where it's all grayed out, but the first one that's not grayed out.
Okay.
And will be tier 1. You know where to add that?
Mm-hmm. Yep, added already.
And you added a point of experience for yourself?
For each time the bad stuff happened, yes.
Excellent. Good. Okay, good. Yeah.
Question, it was defaulted into the furthest left box. Is that correct? Should it have advanced 2 from there to be in the third box?
Yes.
Or
we want it in the third box, the one that's not grayed out. Okay. So now we have one more thing that we need to deal with, which is that during that whole fight, our clock for mysterious creature clicked over into 10 o'clock, which means that the confrontation with the creature is now inevitable, but we still have time to do something about it. So I think the way that is represented is alright, first things first. Oh my god, there's so many good ones. First things first, I need you guys to help me choose a design for this creature.
okay.
Okay, we've got 5 options arrayed here. Which of these 5 is the horrible creature that has been stalking us?
Where is it?
They are on the ground in front of our characters where the mice were a second ago.
Oh.
I'm really digging number 2, but that's just me.
Number 2 is pretty good considering it doesn't have eyes. It just seems to have like Medusa hair, and maybe it sees out of the Medusa hair snake eyes. Ugh.
I like the one in the middle because it seems like it could be a larger version of the rabbits that we just fought.
Mm-hmm. I think that feels appropriate.
I do like this one though. I think that should be reused for something at some point.
Yeah. Does anybody else have any thoughts?
But like as in a cavern, a horse-like thing in a cavern.
Well, remember, it doesn't have to make sense for why it would be here.
Well, yeah, totally. But I'm just saying it would still need to move around.
Yeah.
Which one are we saying?
So I want to know your opinion.
I
Currently,
like that one.
Aeneas likes this one, and Zai likes this one.
And that's for
Whatever creature has been stalking us, whatever the thing we've been hearing is.
Because it wasn't just the rabbits, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
I like the first. Yeah, the giant minotaur thing.
I like the first
All right.
one. I like
We
the
got
first
one
one
vote for the first
a
3.
lot too, because the first one feels like. Okay, here's why I like the first one. It doesn't feel like an actual scary alien. It feels like a child's nightmare.
You mean it's a Final Fantasy V behemoth?
I actually don't know if it is a behemoth. I think it might actually be Byblos from Final Fantasy Tactics, which is itself a variant on a behemoth. But okay, let's roll between the 3. It is number 1.
Number
It is
1
decided.
it is.
Okay, so here's how that the timer clicking over to 10 o'clock works. Is somebody spots the thing spotting us, and then it disappears. So I think Byblos from Final Fantasy V. Okay, so the average. Good to know. Here's what I think. I think that as we are all... Oh, no. I know exactly how it happens. It's me, it's Eilish who spots it, and that's because I'm on the floor having my arm operated on, and I'm looking up at the, ceiling above us, and I see... The reason none of you guys see it is because its head is crawling along the ceiling in in this tunnel here, and I see its head pop out of the tunnel but on the ceiling, and it makes eye contact with me for 3 solid seconds and then scurries back into the tunnel. So it knows where we are now.
This cavernous place enormously localized to the outlying dream.
Yeah. Okay. So, it is 4 o'clock. I'm getting a little bit tired, but I could go for a while longer.
Let's pause it here.
This is pretty good. I'm
We
really
just
happy with
got a
where we're
reveal
at.
of the big bad. We got the people, or started getting the people out of the ship. We've explored the cavern. We fought some rabbits. You got spaghetti arms.
I got spaghetti armed. Yeah. So no, this was a really good game. earlier I was thinking that I really wanted to like not spend too long on this level because I was really excited to get to like the beginning of the campaign proper, get to the galactic politics and all that stuff. Now that we've done this level specifically, I don't want to rush a second of this. This is so good.
Yeah.
I want to spend exactly as long as it takes to get the most out of this.
And I'm like thinking about some of the threads that we have in this game. So the military beret thrown to the rabbits got their attention and they left. We saw what the damage of just a rabbit on one person can do. We have a lot of brutality that we're probably headed into.
Yes.
At least visually, like maybe not happening to us, but it's going to be a mess.
We've only explored one of the 5 locations, and location number 4 is clearly going to be something. It's going to be a hell of a something.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I almost thought of cutting number 3 out of this map because it didn't seem to like serve any purpose. But the chest on its own isn't that like interesting. The greenery growing out of it is so compelling because I don't know what that thing is. You know, we'll make it up when we get there, but whatever it is prompting wild plant life to grow out of it. Oh, that's so compelling.
I've got some thoughts, and it rhymes with heck. If you've ever played Fallout, you'll know.
I don't think I know. I'm very excited to find out. Okay. Yeah, this was so good. This was so much fun. I liked this a lot. And oh boy, the one thing that I'm really excited to see like coming alive here is the wound and trauma system. Because now Reverend Byrne is fucking traumatized and has a fear of medicine. Which is gonna be great the next time she gets wounded, which we just proven is absolutely a thing that can happen.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. This is so good. Okay, let's do our wrap up. Back to the homepage.
Man, it's a good thing you hit that first one with the Gatling gun, Morgan, instead of your sword. That would have been real bad.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. Triggers, did you I'm gonna change this to you activate any of your archetype. Did you activate any of your archetype triggers?
Nope, Roy did not.
Yep, checking for Eilish.
I think we're good
I
on
don't
the
think any
heels.
discussion of passions came up. I was wondering if
I theoretically have some, depending on how lax you are on it.
Sure. What do you have in mind?
Well, the one that gives a string is inspire someone to be better. You could argue that giving the rabbit something to do other than attack is potentially better, but I'm not sure that giving a string to the enemy rabbits is exactly what we want.
No,
Or relevant.
I don't think it's a bad idea. Because remember, a string isn't always a positive relationship. It could just be like, you now, the rabbits remember you and you remember them. Like, that can be all that a string is. But I think that's good. I think that's appropriate. Add a string.
It'll be like Dustin and Dart in Stranger Things.
Yeah, add a string for rabbits and say, describe
Give
it
her
however
a
you want.
raise.
Yeah, that's good.
And the other one, not sure it amounts to this level, but suffer a defeat or injury that will galvanize your followers. And that one's for XP, so it's probably not to that level.
Nah, probably not. If we had... Nah, I don't think so. Okay, so Aeneas, have an interaction that makes you feel like you belong here. There was some interaction we had at some point during this game that I thought felt like a very good Paprika interaction. Can you think of any?
He comforted you.
Or she tried to comfort you.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think I actually was very comforting. I did not assist that situation at all.
But you know what? I do think that...
But you tried.
I do think that just feeling comfortable enough to step in and get involved, and then, you know, at least Eilish is like very appreciative that you were there. I think there's absolutely have an interaction that makes you feel like you belong here. Specifically in the like, feel like you are needed, feel like you are helpful. So yeah, let's add a string between me and Paprika.
Okay.
I will go down to resources, string, Paprika, and
Hey, Ruda.
Yeah.
How would you feel, or Morgan, how would you feel about Ruda having kind of a chip on his shoulder toward Roy?
What do you mean?
Well, because of the incident with Avalon. And I was thinking of basically having a string between the two of us called Tries Too Hard, where Ruda sees Roy as trying too hard to make up for his inability to save Avalon, basically. So like when he threw the multiphasic drone at the rabbit and like basically stunned it so your Gatling gun could kill it, Ruda didn't see that as a good thing. He was just like, oh, here's Roy again, trying to get in the middle of shit.
Yeah, I think that's realistic for Ruda.
Okay.
Cool.
And Roy, what would you have the same relationship with Ruda, or would your relationship with Ruda be different?
I think is there a such thing as like a one-way string? Like,
yeah, it absolutely can be. So
like Ruda would feel that Roy tries too hard, but Roy, that's not what's going on.
Yeah,
in Roy's
your
head.
string represents your perspective on the relationship. So this is actually a great example where, you know, Ruda has a projected relationship onto Roy that is not a true like reciprocal relationship.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, Ruda,
like Roy just thinks Ruda is a fool, like a useful fool, but a fool, and Ruda is just like giving a stank eye to Roy.
Yeah.
I
think that's perfect.
I'm putting that string down for you. So Roy, and the thing is going to be named Tries Too Hard. Putting it at level 1. So Aeneas, Paprika. I named our relationships Comfort Buddies because you comforted me when I
was thinking the same thing. I was really about to put the string in my page as comforted my friend.
So yeah, so I put down Comfort Buddies, and I think that's also appropriate because my character's role in Paprika's life is kind of like the cool aunt who she can connect with. And so I think
I totally love the idea that you have done some like boo-boo kissing before, and so I tried to reciprocate that and just failed.
Ooh, you know what relationship I'm thinking of? Have you seen Ted Lasso?
No, I don't think so.
Damn. Okay, it's a really good show. There's a character in Ted Lasso who has a really good relationship with her goddaughter that is very like, they're kind of friends and they banter and stuff like that. It's very good. Okay, so yeah, I'm putting down Comfort Buddies with Paprika, and I'm putting that at the second tick into the main central section, because we already had a relationship,
For sure.
and now we have that relationship plus one. So, Comfort Buddies tier 2 is where I'm, or not tier 2, but level 2, tier 1.
Gotcha.
Okay, this was so much fun. This was a really good game. Thank you for joining me, everyone.
This was great.
Thanks for running it.
Well, I'll get the recording up on YouTube as soon as I'm able to, and I'll see you guys sometime in a couple weeks, probably.
Cool.
All right.
All right, y'all. See ya.
Bye, everyone.